Welcome to Step 9. In Step 9, we'll be developing our title, hook, and closing for our essay. First of all, your title. It has 3 important jobs. It should make your audience want to read your essay, it should communicate the topic of your essay, and it should also hint at what your point of view will be. For example, a title like Horrible Behavior might sound interesting, but it doesn't give the reader a clear sense of what your essay is going to be about. A title like School is Important is clear, but it could be more interesting. The most effective titles do all 3 jobs. They are creative enough to be interesting, but they also convey your topic and point of view clearly. Here are some examples of different types of titles. There are one-part titles. Your title could be a question, like, could wiping out grades improve learning? It could be a statement. It's time for grades to go. It could be the case for something, like the case for throwing out grades. It could also be a why title, why grades need to be abolished. There are several types of 2-part titles also. One is a topic and a question, like grades, should they be abolished? Or a topic and a statement, grades, it's time for them to go. A creative phrase plus a 1-part title is another option, like a radical idea, why grades need to be abolished, or quality, not quantity, the case for throwing out grades. It's also important to capitalize your title correctly. When you write your title, you capitalize almost every word of it. The rules are always capitalize the first and last words of the title, no matter what. You should also capitalize all other words in the title except articles like a, in, or the, conjunctions like and, but, for, nor, or, so, and yet, and short prepositions like at, by, for, in, of, off, on, or to. You capitalize short verbs like be, am, is, and was. Even though they are short, because they are verbs and they're not connecting words like those above, they get capitalized. Moving on to the hook. The hook is the first few sentences of an essay. It's the part where you're grabbing your reader's attention. It comes before you build background knowledge or present your thesis statement. Here are 6 types of hooks along with an example of each. For example, your hook could be a question or a series of questions, like what does an A really mean, or a C for that matter? When a student gets an F, does it mean that he doesn't learn anything? Your hook could also be a quote. In school, many of us procrastinate and then successfully cram for tests. We get the grades and degrees we need to get the jobs we want, even if we fail to get a good general education. Stephen Covey. Your hook could also be an anecdote, like a short story about someone's life. Melissa Thomas thought she was learning a lot in social studies this semester. She had developed a fascination with the ancient Greeks, could tell you all kinds of things about landforms on a map, and was finding herself watching the History Channel for fun. So when she got a D on her report card, she was shocked. It could also be a statistic or a fact. Teachers may be surprised to learn that most of the written comments they give to students are never even read. That's because if there's also a grade on the paper, many students will just read the grade and ignore the comments. They can be strong statements, something shocking. One of the most time-honored traditions of school may be its biggest problem, grades. And description. Your eyes quickly travel down the list, A minus, and then there it is, a C. What? How did you get a C? That's right, it's report card time. It's time when your performance in school is reduced to a single letter. All of these would be good options for a hook. Your introductory paragraph should be a hook plus background information about the topic of your essay, because you're assuming your reader is not familiar with your topic, and then your thesis statement. Moving down to the closing paragraph or the conclusion. The conclusion of your essay needs to include several things. It needs to include a restatement of your thesis and a brief summary of your main points, some connection to the hook that you used in the opening paragraph, and some powerful, memorable closing thought. Some options for the closing would be a question, like the system we have right now clearly isn't working for everyone. Isn't it time we tried something radically different? Could be in the end of an anecdote, like without grades, students like Melissa are left only with their love of learning. It could be a positive prediction. If schools take the brave step away from grades, they're likely to discover something they've all wanted all along, students who truly love to learn. Could be a negative prediction. If we keep the current grading system as it is, many of our students will never know the true joy of learning. Or you could end with a powerful image or description. Just imagine it. Instead of asking, what do I have to do to get an A? Students will want to know how they can improve, grow, and learn more. Your job for step 9 is to go ahead back to your draft and begin drafting your introductory paragraph with your hook, background information, and thesis statement, and also drafting your conclusion, which includes a restatement of your thesis. It also includes some sort of call to action, what you're asking your audience to do with the information that you've just given them, as well as possibly some of the things listed here in our writing process guide, like the question, the anecdote, a positive prediction, negative prediction, or a powerful image or description.